This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? If you're a woman, you're not alone. With over 1,000 hormone disruptors in our environment, it's no wonder things can feel out of balance. On top of that, natural changes like PMS, menopause, and other life stages can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and trapped in a constant battle with your body. But here's the good news. You don't have to suffer through it. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is here to help. This herbal formula fine-tunes your hormones, balancing estrogen, testosterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol, which can contribute to weight gain, racing thoughts, poor sleep, and more. With over 40,000 five-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. Ready to feel like yourself again? For a limited time, get 15% off your first order at happymammoth.com using code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.
Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Thursday. If you are inside of Patreon, if you are on the outside of Patreon, it is Friday. And I want to say thank y'all for listening, no matter where you are. Patreon, as always, I want to say thank you for financially supporting the podcast. Your continued support is unmatched. And I just want to say thank you. For those of you who are looking to join the Patreon community, please come on over to Patreon. It is $6 per month to join. They get the early episodes as well as 2 lives per month. We do have a live schedule on this Saturday at 8:30. Make sure your ass is present. You understand? Say yes. Thank you very much. We're going to be going live inside of Patreon to talk about what you want to talk about. And I'm actually going to have a video go out this evening discussing more about the live inside of Patreon. And let's get going. So today is going to be an email episode because the last episode that we did on Wednesday, which was about microaggressions in the workplace, that was a big one, y'all. That was a heavy one, and I was actually emotionally drained. And let me tell you why. Because I encountered my own microaggression right after I recorded that podcast at my current place of employment. And I was in shock, right? Because I'm like, there is no way in hell this is happening right after I recorded that podcast, but it did. And what was said, I was called a girl at work, and not in a like, hey girl, not like, in a friendly way. What are you doing here, girl? Because I had just taken over another practice within my company, and this particular practice has been fighting to not have me there, right? Because they know that if I come in, there is some accountability that is going to take place. And I was looking at them like, what? Like, first of all, we don't know each other. I'm being very friendly, very cordial, of course. And that is the energy that I was met with. And what did I do, you may ask? I corrected her ass immediately. I was like, my name is Brandy. Thank you very much, ma'am. Like, I'm not your girl. Okay, you're not about to try to dumb me down. You're not about to minimize why I'm here, because you know why I'm here. Y'all ain't doing what the fuck y'all supposed to do. And I had to step in, but it happened to me too. I am the director of operations, and it happened. You understand? So to those of you, I did get an email from a white woman who was saying like she didn't really understand, and she's never seen this happen before. And how does this take place? Like, what should she do? And it's just like, when you're in the moment, you need to correct somebody that you know is being disrespectful to another person. And right then, I had to correct her because nobody else was going to say anything because they were okay with that. They were okay with her demeaning me in front of people. I never met this woman before. We are not on a friendly, like there is no friendly conversation or banter or anything like that between us. So there is no reason for you to address me as girl, because I'm not your girl. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your pal. My name is Brandy. And the look that I received, like when I said that, it was so hilarious, but it was necessary. Okay? It was necessary. I had to do it. I had to correct her because I'm not your girl. All right? I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm not calling people girls in here. I say ladies. The ladies this, the ladies that. I'm not defining you as a girl because you're a grown-ass woman. So that was my experience with it. And that's why, again, I was kind of emotionally drained yesterday when I got home. And I was like, I'm going to have to push this episode back a day to kind of give myself time because this is a new location. It's also a very long drive. And it was just an interesting dynamic because I know that they had kind of pushed back on me taking over this location. And I knew that it was necessary. My boss knows it's necessary. We all know. So it's happening regardless of whether or not they like it or not. But, you know, I can't escape it either. It happened to me and I had to kind of sit with the emotion of it because I'm like, I have done this 4 times over, created $1 million practices, supported team members, managers that I have on site, just kind of been a help to these people. But it was so interesting to me. This one location is just refusing. They were refusing, pushing back. They did not want me to come in there. And I am there now. So we're going to see. I told them I'll be back next week. So I'm going to keep y'all updated on the shit that is happening in this location. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But let's go to our first email of the episode. This one is from Benny. It says, "Hi, my name is Benny. I work at a large but yet rural hospital for the last 12 years. I've been in the current leadership role for about 5. I normally give myself 5-year stay in each role. Last year, I tried to advance into a higher administrative role within my same department. I stepped out on faith because that's all I have in this lifetime, period. Okay? Child, I was humbled. No, tested and then some. It was down to only 2 applicants, me and another person parallel to me. We are both close. I keep my business to myself. She doesn't. So she didn't know I applied for the position. One day on our way back from lunch, she asked if I applied for the position. I told her that's none of her business or concern, period. At this point, I have figured the shit out real quick because her interview was before mine. So I know the director had to tell her. I went through 2 rounds of interviews with the current team. I work amongst all of them voted to select me and was still not selected. What? Wait a minute now. You went through 2 rounds of interviews. The current team that you work with all voted to select you for the promotion, and you still weren't selected? Then was gaslit by the administrator, and they were saying that I am a perfect candidate, and it was a tight call. What? I'm not understanding, okay? I don't hear that, or whatever that old lady said on TikTok. I'm not hearing that. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's continue reading, y'all. Lies and bullshit, exactly. I have worked in this department and specialized with added certifications, which was the outline in the job description posting. My lovely colleague, did not. She had 0 experience in the department and no additional certifications. I was hurt. I was angry. Thank goodness for your podcast because it legit saved me. I learned that they didn't want me in the role no matter how hard I tried or what certifications or accreditations I had. I learned to say fuck them people at that job and take my ass home After doing the job, within 4 months into her role, the director and vice president both left our service team. Homegirl is now lost and seeking me. What? For guidance? Oh, hell no. I politely told her to review the SOP and seek other uniform measures within her role. Yes, I'm that petty, but you are right. You are right. We are not doing things outside of our scope. If they wanted you for that damn job, they would have selected you. Okay? Now her ass done got set up for the okie doke. I feel like it was kind of in your favor. And while it may not seem that way, I do feel like, yes, I just saw the rest of your email. Let me keep reading because I'm talking. I'm sorry, y'all. I get so excited, and like we are on the same page. Okay, let's continue. It says our new director and vice president are both a micromanaging duo. Honey is stressed and pressed with them. Thank God he was actually blocking me from disaster. Okay. I am seeking to start my silent departure. Yes, silent, because one thing I'm going to do is close my damn mouth. Thank you so much for your guidance, wise words, and overall being you. You give us hope and make it easier in the midst of a chaotic world. Benny, honey. Listen, y'all, listen. This is what wisdom look like. Because you apply for a job, you know for a damn fact. Okay, you know for a fact that you match the criteria. You match the overall job duties and abilities. You can do them. You are the skilled person. And then the person, not saying that this person is against you, but the person that you are in the running for this position with is slow as hell. I'm just saying she should have had some wisdom too, because now why would you come to me and ask me how to do this job? You the better person, right? You were the one that was selected. So now you have to encounter. Now you need to endure this. Now you need to figure out. I'm not figuring out shit. So you were absolutely right when you said follow your SOP, baby. Okay? Go talk to your new director or new vice president who is a micromanager. Go talk to them folk, because I'm not the one. Go ask Susie. Y'all remember that? Ask Susie. Where's Susie? Why are you over here talking to Benny? You don't need to be talking to me. Go talk to your superiors, because that is who's going to help walk you through this process. This is not my job. And what's so funny is that a lot of times people take rejection as like a reflection of them. I'm not skilled enough. I'm not good enough for this job. I'm not capable of doing this job. When really rejection is protection. Tell me no, please. Sometimes you just need to hear no, because you're going against. Sometimes you need to hear no because it's not meant for you. This is not your job. Imagine what this would have been like had Benny pressed the issue, made a big old noise, or if he was the person that would have got that job. He would have been the one miserable. He would have been the one that's mad, because the people who put you in the position know they're leaving. They know that. You don't leave no director position tomorrow. You know. Because first of all, director positions, vice president positions are few and far in between. Them people do not just up and leave the company unless it is involuntary. Okay? This looked like they left on their own. So they knew that they were leaving, and they had to set up a dummy. And they got her and not you. So, honey, kudos to you. Shout out to you. The opportunity that is meant for you is coming. You just need to be patient. You also need to continue doing what you said. Shutting the hell up. Don't tell them about no plans. Don't be mad. Don't be, upset, frustrated. Come to work just like you did before the interview process. Because at the end of the day, that ain't take no skin off your back. Okay? Nothing. It didn't take nothing from you. All it did was let you know that they do not value you the same way that you have been valuing this job. Okay? That's what it let you know. So now it's time for you to make decisions based off of you and your needs. Understand me? Say yes. Thank you very much. Let's go to our next email. Good afternoon. Can you provide any advice for these students that once belonged to Job Corp, which is now shutting down multiple facilities nationwide due to the Department of Labor cuts? Betty, I'm gonna tell you this is the thing I don't have any advice on, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there is no amount of advice that I can give them that is going to help them replace what they had. They lost an opportunity for them to be competitive in the workspace, like through training and stuff like that. They also lost their home, like their place to live that they were going to be living in until they acquired the skills and training and things necessary to go on into the work field or workspace. I don't have any advice for that. It is absolutely sad. The only thing I can say is for those of them who do not have families, please try not to turn to a life of crime. But even that is hard to say, because when you are in a desperate situation, which a lot of these kids are, they're not all children. They're, some of them 17, but you know what I'm saying? These are young people who don't necessarily have a lot of options. And it would be quite rude of me to get on here and try to tell people, well, you need to go back to school and you need to do this. Like, they may not have the resources to do so. They may not have the family background to do so. And so I haven't even recorded a video about it because I just feel like I would be yapping and harping on the same thing we all know. The only way that we can really stop what is happening is by voting. We need to improve our voting, literally, because look at what these people votes. Look at what they did. They are dismantling this country. And unfortunately, I have no advice for those young people. Don't turn to a life of crime, please. Please don't, because that just further perpetuates the stereotype. But I understand that there are going to be some desperate situations. There are going to be some desperate people making desperate choices. And when you are facing poverty, you are desperate to do anything. And I just really hope that everything works out for these people. But we have to know and be realistic that it's not. Some people are really going to struggle. They're about to be it's going to be a massive jump in homelessness, because a lot of these young people don't have families. They don't have homes to return to. There are some who are blessed and they do have homes to return to that are healthy. They just did not want to go to the traditional route. But there's a good number of these young people who Job Corp was the only option for them. And now our government has taken that away. So I just really pray for these young people. That's really all you can do, because I don't have a solution. A lot of them don't have the skills necessary to obtain employment right now, because that's the reason why they were there. So we just say a prayer for them. Seriously. All right, on to our next email. This one says, thank you for putting out the videos that you do. I have been watching your videos for the past 2 months, and it helped me see the writing on the wall before I was fired. I was let go days ago from my job that I held for 2 years. They fired me right before my 2-year anniversary. The types of things I was written up for were for graphical errors. Now, graphical errors, y'all, before we finish reading the rest of this email, is when there's an issue or mistake in visual data that is being done in the presentation. So if you have data or a database job where you have to talk about scaling, production, those type of things that have to be shown to present how well or how bad the company or the department is doing, and it's flawed, then you could be perceived as giving incorrect data intentionally or by mistake. Okay, but let's continue. So she made a mistake with graphical errors that she did repeat over a course of 6 months. Nothing that cost the company money, just small types or type mistakes. It was a mistake. I would like to investigate the possibility of wrongful termination, as I know for a fact that I am the third African American woman to be fired from this company in the last 6 months. Can you give me advice on what to do? Betty, okay, let's get back. Before we start talking about suing people, let's talk about why you were terminated. Okay. The reason why they terminated you is because you were making mistakes that showed flawed data several times over the course of 6 months. Okay? That's repeated errors. Now, whether or not it cost the company money, that's not the point, right? That's not what the severity of the mistake, I don't think was the problem. The problem is that you made the mistake, period, when you're supposed to be giving data that is accurate, that reflects the company. And there may have been some things in the background that you just may not have been privy to. Now, if you do feel like there's some type of prejudice happening because they're firing Black people, you need to have some documentation, or it's going to cost you a lot of fucking money. Okay? You need to have proof. You need to have people willing to back you up. Because if you take this to court and you do not have anything to stand on other than they just fired 3 Black people, when if you go and look at the 3 Black people, there are issues with how they file reports or whatever, like similar to yours, or maybe there are white people who made those same mistakes and they were fired, then your case is going to get thrown out. So you need to have something that is of merit. Were things happening that were described as racial disparities inside of the workplace? Was there any type of discrimination? Like, you have to have evidence. Otherwise, this is going to be very expensive for you. Okay? It is not a very easy thing to go up against a corporation. And when you do, you need to have your ducks in a row. Because any lawyer will be happy to take your money. Okay? But you got to make sure that you have proper evidence. And right now, this email is very short. So I would come back and read this. If you can give us an update, what happened that led up to this termination? You made mistakes, several, okay, over the last 6 months that affected data or misrepresented data inside of whatever meeting or presentation y'all had. So numbers were incorrect. We don't know if the numbers were inflated. I don't know. So if you have some backstory, then yes, like send it to us. I'll be happy to read it. But y'all, we got to be very careful before we start to put a label on things, because if you really did something wrong, which is you made that mistake over the last 6 months, whether it was small or not, it misrepresented data. And I don't know if you work in healthcare. I don't know if you work like in some type of like government entity. Like, I just don't know. You did not lead me or give me any examples to let me know where you worked or what type of, like, what capacity you were employed. I just don't know. So please follow up with the update so that we can all be on the same page, because I don't want anybody to make the mistake of calling something racial when it is not. Some things we have done on our own, so we just need to make sure it's accurate. That's all I'm saying, because it could be a very expensive mistake to go up against a corporation because you think something, but in reality, that's not what happened. I don't know if you know other people that have got fired and they're willing to kind of come together and y'all do some type of class action. I don't know. But be careful when you say stuff like that. Okay? Make sure that you have fact and not feelings. Because, you know, feelings will fuck us up every time. If we're constantly, I feel, or basically, no, actually. Give me actuals. What actually happened? So we'll be looking out for an email from you that details more information. And I'm going to start this and make it very important because I really want to know what happened. But that's going to be it for today. Patreon, y'all have a happy ass Thursday. Let me know what y'all think of this podcast inside of Patreon. Y'all tell me if y'all enjoyed this episode. For everybody else who is listening on Friday, thank you so much again. Make sure you join Patreon because we're going to be going live on Saturday evening, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Y'all have a good ass day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.